Welcome to today's explainer. We're going to be looking at the absolute crucial metrics behind how massive retail and jewelry brands actually scale their physical footprints. When you suddenly see a famous brand popping up on literally every street corner, it's not just random chance. It is a highly calculated financial maneuver. So let's kick things off with a fundamental question. How do we actually judge if a brand is truly expanding its empire, or if it's just, moving things around? It is so easy to get distracted by a flashy grand opening, but behind the scenes, we need a rock-solid, reliable way to measure actual, scalable growth. Well, to figure that out, we look at the network expansion rate, which is commonly known as net store additions. Basically, this metric tracks the actual, bottom-line growth of a brand's physical storefronts over a specific period of time. For businesses selling directly to consumers, this isn't just some vanity number. It's the primary engine for driving new revenue and conquering entirely new geographic markets. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with a quick toy shop analogy, look at gross versus net growth, talk about breaking the sales ceiling, examine the store productivity ramp, and finally wrap up with some real-world retail strategies.
All right, part one, the toy shop analogy.
Picture this. You've got this incredibly successful chain of toy shops. Business is booming, and you are aggressively building 10 brand new toy shops in a bunch of different towns. But while doing this, you also realize that 2 of your older legacy toy shops are stuck on very quiet streets where kids just rarely visit anymore. So, making a smart business decision, you decide to close them down. So, you built 10 beautiful new shops, but you closed 2. That means your actual net gain is exactly 8 shops. That number right there, 8. That's your net store additions. It represents the real, actual growth of your toy shop empire, completely cutting through the noise of just looking at the flashy new buildings you opened. Moving right along to part 2, gross versus net growth. Now, when financial analysts are projecting a brand's future revenue, they really have to separate the hype from reality. They're taking that raw excitement of gross openings, all those shiny new showrooms, and weighing it against the harsh, necessary reality of store closures. And closures happen all the time due to underperformance, expired leases, or just regional consolidation. So it really all comes down to this super simple but absolutely vital subtraction. True footprint expansion velocity is determined by this. Net store additions equals gross store openings minus store closures. And honestly, this distinction is huge. If you're an analyst and you're only counting the grand openings, you are going to completely overestimate a company's actual capacity for growth. That's especially true if a retailer is quietly shutting down bad legacy locations in the background. The net figure always tells the honest story. Okay, part 3. Breaking the sales ceiling. In the retail world, same-store sales growth, or SSSG, is a fantastic health check. It tracks the demand at your existing stores. But here's the catch. Mature stores eventually hit a literal physical ceiling. There are only so many customers you can physically ring up in a single day, right? That's why new store additions are the ultimate catalyst. By expanding the network, brands unlock entirely new geographies, they steal market share from unorganized local shops, and frankly, they justify their high corporate valuations. Which brings us to part 4, the store productivity ramp. Because think about it, you can't just multiply your store count by your average sales and call it a day. A brand new store doesn't just magically operate at 100% capacity on day 1. It typically takes a premium showroom about 2 to 4 years to reach full operational maturity. So to build a highly realistic revenue projection over time, analysts actually group these new stores into cohorts based on the year they opened and apply a staggered growth curve. And finally, part 5, real-world retail strategies. Let's actually look at the corporate battlefield in the Indian jewelry space. We are seeing top brands execute this exact same metric, but using wildly different playbooks. Titan is using massive cash reserves for direct scale. Kalyan relies heavily on a franchise model. Thangamayil hyper-focuses on specific regions. And the challenger, PNGS Riva, is literally using fresh IPO funds to fuel its fire. Let's zoom in on Kalyan for a second, specifically their FOCO structure, which stands for Franchisee-Owned, Company-Operated. It's honestly brilliant. It's designed to completely supercharge their expansion rate without crushing their corporate balance sheet. Under the setup, the franchise partners actually fund the physical real estate and the upfront store setup costs. Meanwhile, the parent brand retains full operational and inventory control. This kind of capital-light efficiency is exactly how a brand like Kalyan can target a massive 170 new stores in a single fiscal year, all while preserving their own capital. On the flip side, just look at the sheer variance in raw net addition targets funded by direct capital or IPOs. You've got the absolute market leader, Titan Company Ltd., utilizing its deep capital base to add a staggering 47 net jewelry stores to its domestic network in just a single quarter, Q3 of FY26. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you have PNGS Riva, deploying its IPO proceeds to establish 15 new stores. And then there's a regional specialist like Thangamayil. For them, adding just 6 stores, going from 60 to 66, was highly strategic. They specifically targeted establishing a stronger presence in the incredibly competitive Chennai metro market. And because of that targeted expansion, that specific metro market subsequently grew to contribute about 17% of their total sales. It just goes to show that expansion isn't always about massive national volume. Sometimes it's about really dense strategic regional saturation. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. The next time you're walking around your neighborhood and you see a shiny new retail store opening its doors, ask yourself, what strategy are they using to actually fund that expansion? Are they burning through corporate cash like Titan? Are they leveraging franchise capital like Kalyan? Or did they just go public to fund their growth? The real story of a brand's success isn't just in the products they sell, but in the calculated math behind their footprint. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into network expansion.